Guys, we're catching up on the same topic as last week on losing a loved one. Here we go. And next on my list is to have a community that you can talk to, whether that is by entering a social group of newly grieving spouses or loved ones, or whether it is that you have a good friend you can talk to, or whether it is that you have a therapist you can talk to, or all of the above. I recommend doing as much of it as possible. It will help you the most. What not to do is not to isolate yourself beyond a point where leaving the house is abnormal. It's really important and imperative that you do something in your day to leave the house. Now, that's not to say to go to a party. That's not to say to go shopping or doing things that feel really out of the norm for you at the current moment. But going for a walk, taking in some fresh air, grabbing your regular coffee, exercising, anything to get your heart rate up. These are all really, really good things, and they will help you so much. And I know you may not want to, and I know it may feel really abnormal for you right now to do something like that, because all you want to do is just stay home, but just get out of the house one time a day. Next is crying. A lot of people will tell the person who's grieving, oh, don't cry. And I can't tell you how important it is to cry. Crying is our natural way of expressing our emotions. That's why babies cry so much, because they are so free to pour out exactly what it is that they're feeling. So do not tell your loved ones that have lost someone not to cry. That's exactly what not to tell them. That's telling them, suppress your emotions. Don't show how you're feeling. Allow them to cry as much as they want. Remember, this is an adjustment phase we're talking about. We're talking about 2 months. In these 2 months, allow them to be exactly how they are. And if you're the one going through it, allow yourself to cry as much as you want. After 2 months, you don't need to go from crying all day to crying not at all. You just need to make sure that you're getting back to some sort of normal activity in which you won't be able to cry anyway. So it's not that you're telling yourself, I can't cry. It's that you're most likely not going to want to cry at work, or you're not going to want to cry at the grocery store. So that will naturally bring down the level of crying, and you'll be able to get back to some part of your normal routine. Next is not to neglect your own body. Sometimes we're so sad and we're so taken back by huge adversaries and what is greater than loss of a loved one that we 100% forget our own body. Unfortunately, that won't bring back your loved one. And what it will do, it will ruin what you have, your health, your mental health, your physical health, and it will not do anything for that person. So although it's important to process, it's important to be able to cry and let it out, it's also important to give it and nourish it as much as you can. What does that mean? It means to eat healthy meals. It means to drink water. It means to do deep breathing exercises. It means to talk to someone, and it also means to sleep. If you cannot sleep, I would say that you got to do everything in your power to be able to sleep, whether that is drinking some milk before you go to bed or taking in some vitamins that will help you sleep, like magnesium. Magnesium is a great vitamin that will help calm you down, essentially put you to sleep. And if none of that is working and you're really not sleeping, then I highly recommend you call your primary caregiver and ask them to give you something to aid you for the next 2 months so that you can get through this adjustment period with sleeping through the night, because there's nothing worse than being really down and not sleeping. It will just put everything in full effect. And then last on my list is to find meaning and purpose in your life. What I mean by that is finding something that can continue pushing you through the next 5, 6, 10 years, the first years after losing a loved one. Most of the times it is through helping other people. That is usually what will give people that deep meaning after losing a loved one. So it's not necessarily focused on yourself, it's focused on others. And by giving to others, you are finding purpose in your life, and you will push yourself for them and not for yourself. And eventually it will all come full circle and you will see the light at the end of the tunnel, even for yourself. But until then, be there for others, push yourself for others, whether it's a child that you have, whether it's a family that you have, whether it is volunteering at a shelter and helping the homeless, whatever it is, finding that extra purpose to push you through until you see a light at the end of the tunnel for yourself. Sending you love, especially those of you that are going through this period. It is hard, it's almost impossible, but there are a lot of people, I'm sure, out there that care for each one of you, and there's a lot of people that want to be there for you. So utilize their help, and slowly time will heal. Thank you for listening to me. Happy Tuesday.